Tuesdays we do interviews, and I was actually hoping to do a live interview with you on Tuesday about No Boost 30.
Tuesday. What time we talking?
30 minutes Tuesday. Well, maybe at our call time or whatever. Like we could go earlier, but I don't know. I mean, this is the only other day like today, but we do interviews on Tuesdays, and then we do our live show on Thursday. And I'm thinking about kicking the show back a half hour because you and I already had a spot locked in, so I didn't want to.
No worries, man. That's what I was gonna say. We can shuffle this thing around if need be. That's not a problem.
Well, the Tuesday thing is we have these, so you don't have to go this week, but I was just saying, yeah, I think we're going to have Anthony Jones on next week. He's a big alumni. And I go, but don't hold me to that because
one of the originals
things come up. And I know you and I talked on here about it, but I never got to stream it to the group. And so anyway.
Yeah, I'm 100% down.
I figured you
send me a meeting maker and I'm there.
Meeting maker.
Put it on my calendar, Joel, and dude, I got to hit brunch really quick.
Speaking of that, Jenny at her new job. Yeah. Jenny at her new job. She has an assistant.
Awesome.
And I'm like, that's how you know you're a baller now, when you have an assistant. And they keep saying, make sure you delegate to your paralegals, delegate to your assistants. Like, don't be doing stuff that's not beneath you. Like, they bill at so much per hour that it's not worth their time.
No, exactly, dude. Like, no, my lawyers told me that directly as well. They said the same exact thing. They're like, hey, man, I'm going to have somebody else do that. Is that okay? Because I'm expensive and they're not.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Of course, dude.
They're like, do you want to pay $300 for me to write you an email, or do you want, Peggy to do it?
To sign this form, or to type out this form, or I'm going to have somebody else do it, and then I'll sign it for
and I'm going golfing.
And then I got to go to my house in Aspen.
Actually, I'm going to write you an email that'll pay for my golfing, and then I'm going to go golfing.
But the chopper is fueled and waiting for me, so I got to go. We'll talk about this when I get back. I'm going to Taipei to see some boxing fights.
I'm type A, and I'm going to Taipei. Dude, look at my buddy sent me.
Sales letter, the ultimate sales letter.
And this guy, Dan Kennedy, is the man. This is written.
Like it's so many people named Dan Kennedy for some reason. I don't know why.
Remember Jamie
like
Kennedy?
Name. Maybe Kennedy is it then.
This guy wrote this in 1990. This is the 4th edition.
Oh, I like kind of like that old school shit to see how it applied.
This is the guy, like this is like one of the Bibles of like copywriting, and he's talking about like long form sales letters. And I just got it today, and I'm so excited to read it.
Yeah, throw it down. I mean, right now I've been reading nothing but fiction. Fiction's fake. Nonfiction is not fake. So fiction.
No, so I have to do that.
I do it in Barnes and Noble. I'm like, not fake.
Not fake.
Or is it not
I'm
fake?
like, why did they do it like that? These are words that matter, and you made it backward. Because fiction sounds like fake.
It's like fiction. You have to be smart to navigate a bookstore. Otherwise, you're just screwed.
Just go to the self-help if you don't know.
Just look it up in the card catalog.
On microfiche.
Yeah. Just pull up some microfiche real quick. I remember like they had that in like in the 80s in the movies that were the future. They were still like fucking using microfiche. I was like, okay,
yeah. What was it? Indian Trails, baby.
Yeah, dude, I love that place. I did some hardcore investigative reporting in that joint, dude. I really did. I used it for what it was worth.
Did you really?
And I hit some golf balls through their windows. I mean, I did both.
I love libraries, man.
Yeah, no, they're dope.
Yeah.
There's some really crazy cool ones. Like if you look up cool looking libraries, I mean nothing special. Just look up cool looking libraries or best libraries in the world. Dude, there's some fucking crazy libraries with some crazy architecture that have like the coolest like designs that you've never seen before. And some of them I'm looking at them, I'm like, how the fuck do you even get up there to get the book? I'm like, I don't understand. There's some crazy.
Nobody reads those anyway. You're like,
yeah.
That's where the alchemy books are and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. That's why you go up there and you give me a ladder. Give me a ladder. Give me a drone. Give me a drone with suction cups.
With suction cups.
Give me a suction cup bow and arrow. Get that
what was the investigative reporting you were doing?
Oh, the last time I remember doing like heavy investigative reporting was when I was doing the Ouija board. So when it got real, And I was like, what the fuck are we dealing with? I wanted to make sure that I wasn't like conjuring some satanic shit. So I literally went to Indian Trails and I looked up, like seances, Ouija board shit, like spiritual stuff, like conjuring the dead type of crap. Yeah, I don't remember exactly because it was so long ago, but stuff like that. And that's where I kind of got like the rules of engagement. Like the first question you have to ask is, what color are your eyes? And if they answer with a color that's like red or orange or yellow, something hot, then you have to be like, I gotta go. You have to do a figure 8 in order to close the loop, or like to seal the door, the communication door between the spirit realms and or the astral planes. And there was a bunch of rules of engagement, and they were like, make sure you do this, make sure it's a guy and a girl on the board for optimal results, and blah blah blah, all this different shit. And I was just like, this is super cool. So I wrote all this stuff down. I recorded it all. I told all the other guys that were doing the Ouija board with me what was up. We all adhered to the rules because I'm like, look, dude, I ain't playing no games. I'm not about to get demonically possessed. All right.
And I don't know if everybody that listens knows about these stories, and we don't have to go into them right now. But when you told me it's a long stuff, I was like, I believe it because it's you. But if it wasn't anybody else, I just don't know if I could believe it. But I believe it wholeheartedly. Like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, but I believe it.
Dude, that's why I love Ghost Adventures. That's why that's why I went to that haunted mansion. That's why, there's a place over here where I used to live in Orland Park called Bachelor's Grove. It's a super famous haunted forest as well. There was another trail that I used to hang out at and mountain bike all the time, and it was through a fucking graveyard. We would take the Ouija board, dude, and we would go to graveyards, and we would go to on top of the fucking grave, read the name off the stone, and be like, "We're looking for Ted. Ted, come and talk to us, buddy."
No way.
I shit you not. At like 1:30 in the morning, and it was literally like a fucking movie, where there's like a haze, like a fog, like a low fucking fog.
Yeah.
And there was like some dude with a flashlight, like looking for us, that scared us away and shit. It was literally like a movie. It was awesome, but it was a lot of fun. Super fucking crazy. There's a lot of people wouldn't do it. Like I remember.
Yeah, there's no way I would have gone. I would have been like,
people heard that we had done that, right?
Yeah.
And it was like what you said. They were like, bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's go right now. Let's look. We got a couple freaking cemeteries that we hit up all the time. Let's go. We know exactly how to get into the backside of them so we don't get seen. Let's go. So we would, and people were like, all right, let's go. So we all get in the cars, like the 8 cars from Moser's house, and we'd all go to the cemetery. And then we'd all get out and start marching up into the like little hole in the freaking cemetery.
You went to that one next to the car wash,
the car
probably
wash
on Wolf.
One of our main ones. Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
that's probably
the backside over by.
It's right over by us.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get right in through that backside. So we would go over to that. Exactly, dude. See, this is how I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
So then like 4 of us or 5 of us would just march right the fuck in there. And then we would stop and be like, where's everybody else? Then we'd walk back down and be like, well, fuck it, I'm not going in there, man.
They're already at Market Square.
Yeah. We're going to Jeffrey Lane's, man.
Totally.
Jeffrey, bro. We're gonna go hit Joe's Pizza, but none of them would go in, and we're just like, fuck it, we're already here. Let's go do this. So we would go do it. We'll meet you over there. We're just gonna do this. We're already here.
Yeah, we're already here. I mean, gosh, that's crazy.
Let's go see if Ted's home.
But it's like, if you think about it, like a ghost, I guess, like unless you got possessed, like it's not gonna like hurt you. Spirit.
No, they can. And you know what's crazy, dude, is after
some they can.
Yes, and after that's why there was rules of engagement and shit that I stressed heavily to the guys and stuff when we were fucking with these things. But honestly, I thought there was some parts where it was a little fishy, where people started doing that shit by themselves, which is a huge no-no.
Yeah.
And things started happening that were unexplainable, where we couldn't like get rid of the thing. It would like keep showing up, like it was weird shit like that, like movie shit again, dude, like literally movie shit. And it was happening. and there was like anger, and there was like, like one of the dude's moms, I won't name names, but one of the dude's parents was like, get this fucking thing out of my house. I never want to see it in here again.
Oh my gosh.
What the fuck are you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you've told me so, like, but unbelievable, but also cool to some extent, because if you can talk and tap into like that stuff, then like there's a connection, right? There's a way to make a connection, or there's something, and like that's just that's interesting. I mean, it's on the same level like people might say as like UFOs, and they probably would believe in this more than they would UFOs because.
Well, dude, we took out all chance, right? Because we wanted to totally debunk this thing to make sure that it wasn't somebody just fucking around. You know how our friends are.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I'm not joking about this. We would double blindfold everybody. So we'd put like a regular blindfold, like a handkerchief around their eyes. Then we would tie a fucking sweater around their head, like literally to where they could barely breathe, dude. And you could not see, because I've been on the board many, many times. You could not see the board. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we would turn the board whatever direction we wanted and then lay it in their lap, so they didn't know which way was up and which way was down.
They don't know where they're going with it. Yeah.
So how are you going to manipulate, that thing was moving like this too. I mean, like,
that's fucked up
fast. And I could see their hands when I wasn't on the board and I would be recording or asking questions. I would see their hands would just stay there and the fucking planchette would just move around, like their hands weren't even on it at
how could point. Weren't you like every time just like
I was freaking out. I get the chills thinking about it.
I didn't, but like I could feel it was about to, but I wasn't there, so it never didn't give me the effect, but it just still is.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, like,
nuts,
we tried to debunk it as best we could. Just if anyone, like you said, is listening, it's calling bullshit. I mean, like literally, we would do everything we possibly could to make sure that nobody could fucking manipulate this thing and play games.
I mean, if we should actually just do the story next time and like put a good title and stuff, because people will watch that shit. I'll tell you, if you ever wanted to share it.
Those stories are awesome. Dude.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Anyway.
Dude, that's why I love Ghost Adventures, man. That's like my favorite show of all time, because that's like my dream job, is to just go ghost hunting. Just let me just go ghost hunting. I got a bunch of the equipment. I did the hotel. I've gone, like I said, to Bachelor's Grove, to the other cemetery. What else have I done? Oh, you know what I used to do? This is hysterical, but people would love this shit, Joel. I'm not even kidding. So for my job, I build cell phone towers, but I don't actually swing hammer.
Ding, 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 ding,
yeah, exactly.
Copy right there.
I'm the guy that shows up and kind of engineers what's going to happen, and then I hire somebody to do the actual building of, right? Nice. So I get to go check out all these locations and do all this cool shit and have access that a lot of people wouldn't. Like, like I had full access wherever I wanted to go at the NFL draft when I worked at Verizon, shit like that. It was super dope. And from time to time, you get access to these buildings in Chicago that are like run down, but they're downtown, like we're millions and probably $billion buildings just empty. And you're like, why the fuck does this look like the apocalypse in here? Like, I don't understand. They're like, well, McDonald's owns the ground floor and they have their highest grossing restaurant there, shit like that. And you're like, really? And they wouldn't do anything with the rest of this? And they're like, well, they want to put a cell phone structure on the roof. That's why we're here. And I was just like, all right, whatever, let's go. So we would go up to the roof, we'd see what's up, but then I'd have to chase all the utilities like power and internet all the way down to the basement where their power and their telco room would be. So we would be going through all the different floors so I could see where to core through the fucking concrete. And like I said, the place looks like the fucking apocalypse hit, and it's super scary. It looks like bums and criminals and people have been in there spray painting, fucking doing drugs, everything. We found a dead
doing Ouija boards and shit.
Demonic shit, no doubt. Like, I got one of my famous pictures that I always show everybody is I was walking down the stairs because none of the elevators work or nothing. So I was walking down the stairs and it's pitch black in there. I mean, like fucking pitch black. So I take out my like cell phone, flashlight, and I turn it on because I see some debris kind of in front of me, and I wanted to make sure I didn't fall. So I turn on the cell phone light, and right in front of me is a vent, and the vent is like hanging on like one screw swinging like on.
Of course, yeah, of course,
right. And right next to it, and like it looked like blood. It said, "She's in here," with an arrow pointing to the fucking vent.
Oh my god!
I was like, "You guys see this? You guys see this, dude?" and I took a picture of it because it was so fucking crazy. And I'm like, it's probably time to leave, So we got down and did the rest of the walk and got the fuck out of there. But
Damn.
you run into crazy shit. So my whole point is while we're on these walks, it's long, it's hours long, and you're going through all this bullshit, and it sucks kind of some of the times too. So I try to make it fun, because I'm there. Let's have some fun. So I bust out the fucking Ghost app, dude. And I'll start doing like ghost investigations. And dude, these building engineers and like these city officials and shit are looking at me at first at like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
But then like 20 minutes in, they're like, what's it saying? What's it saying, bro?
What's it say now? What's it say now? It's like,
I see a Debbie over there on the wall. I see Debbie written right there. What's Debbie's last name? They're totally into it, dude. What's that app? Tell me what that app is.
That's hilarious.
Classic, dude.
Damn.
And it makes the walks that much more fun.
That's scary.
And we still get what we need done and shit, but it's just hysterical. Dude, I have one more story about walks.
Yeah,
so
please.
I don't know if I told you this one either, but we were in a bank, okay? And so they had a little cupola at the top of this bank. And in the cupola was like a fake bell, and it looked like an old classic country house. I think it was like countryside, bank or something. And they're like, yeah, you can put some antennas up in that cupola. So we're like, how do we get to it? And they're like, you got to go through this back room where like the fucking vault is.
Yeah.
And you got to go up into the ceiling, and then you have to walk, over to here. And that's where you can get to the cupola. It's just open, it's just open air. It's not separate. And we're like, oh, perfect. Let's go. So I have my architectural and engineering guy that actually draws the thing up while we're there and measures shit out and does all that stuff. And I'm kind of like, put shit there, put shit there, put shit there, put shit there. So we get up into the ceiling, and the lady's like, it's not finished. We have wood planks. Don't step off the plank because it's a drop ceiling into the lobby of the bank.
Oh my God.
And we're like, yeah, no problems.
Hey,
we've done this before. So we walk to the edge, and we have to make a right-hand turn, and then the ladder's right there, and you can climb up this ladder into this cupola. So I go first. And I get to the ladder, and I'm like, yeah, we're good. Come on. So the A&E guy starts walking, and he's measuring and doing some shit to try to figure out where this cupola is inside of this building, and he stops and puts his bag down and steps backwards, steps off the plank, like you're saying, through the fucking drop ceiling. His bag was kind of like following him with him, and he has like this huge sack, like this huge thing with all this equipment in it and stuff. Falls through the floor, and he's got tattoos to his wrists. He doesn't look like a geek. He looks like a motorcycle fucking gang member.
Sure, yeah.
He falls through the ceiling into the lobby of the bank while people are sitting there waiting in line and shit.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm looking through the hole in the ceiling, and I'm like, hey man, you all right? Everybody's screaming in the lobby.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So he just fell through the ceiling, and he's like, yeah, because he had the wind knocked out of him.
Oh.
And the bank manager kind of was still on the ladder all the way at the beginning with his head just sticking up into the attic part. And he's like, oh my God. So then he runs down, and I see him show up and try to help my buddy up and shit. And we're like,
damn,
so sorry, bro.
Oh, he wasn't hurt bad or anything?
No,
I mean,
he came back up. He came back up and finished the walk.
Whoops, I slipped.
Yeah,
it's like,
dude,
right, he fell through the fucking ceiling.
Your back fucked up, like, did you get cut? He's like, no, I'm good.
That sounds like a good workers' comp call right there, baby. Damn,
it was incredible, dude. It was incredible. And we ended up finishing the walk, and there was somebody cleaning up all the shit in the lobby when we walked out. And we're like, dude, let's get the fuck out of here.
Everybody's like, all right, carry on.
That's how he was. That's how the bank manager kind of was. Everything's fine here. Nothing to see. Nothing to see. And everyone's like, ah. You're thinking he's
like they think, because so many movies we've seen, they come down with the ropes rappelling in, like it's definitely getting robbed.
Everybody freeze,
everybody down,
dude. I got so many stories like that. It's insane.
It's crazy,
but it's just having a cool job like that where you can have opportunities for crazy shit to happen. Like I always tell everybody that I go to places and do things that I would have no business or no reason to ever do for any other reason than I'm there to hook up, some sort of telecom equipment or figure out how to get service in someplace.
Like, I mean,
dope.
At my job, like today, I mean, they ordered in food, and like, instead of getting jalapeno chips, I got barbecue chips. So like,
you mixed it up a little bit.
That was pretty crazy. And it was on accident. So, I mean, I carried on. I ate them anyway. I was just like, I'm eating them. These might not be my chips.
I wish I could take you like on some of the walks where we went underneath
I got to get out of my job.
one of the original AT&T buildings. It's right next to Wrigley Field, and you know the area. And underneath it are these tunnels, and these tunnels go for fucking miles and miles in all these different directions.
Wow.
And and I was like, okay,
those are sewers. Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? And they're like, well, these connect the AT&T hubs together. And I'm like, how fucking far does this thing go?
Yeah.
And they're like, it turns every 13 miles. I go, excuse me?
Whoa.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, how far are we going? And they're like, maybe 3. And they're like, here, get in this golf cart. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. So we got in this golf cart and we're driving, and there's like, there's all this shit kind of on the
cables
wall.
And shit.
Yeah, whatever. Just on the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what are we looking for? They're like, we're chasing the coax. That's the coax. I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's your cable tray? And he's like, yeah. And I couldn't even tell it was so blended in so well and shit. I was like, damn, dude. So we got to the end of it because we were hooking up this service that's like it's called like small cell, where you have a bunch of smaller antennas. That's how Wrigley Field gets service and stuff. They don't have one gigantic site that just feeds Wrigley Field. It's a bunch of these small ones strategically placed all throughout the field. Well, because Wrigley was doing all those renovations and all that shit in the neighborhood when the Ricketts bought everything before the Cubs won the series. This is
yeah.
They were ripping all these buildings down and redoing all this shit. And because everything feeds through these tunnels underground, we had to reroute a bunch of shit in order to keep Wrigley Field online. So it was just insane. So we had to set up all these temporary cell phone towers on these machines and on these gigantic tractor trailer trucks and shit in order to cover the whole field until I got it figured out, because AT&T was taking forever because I was with Verizon. So they're like, yeah, maybe next week. And I was like, thanks a lot, Dick.
Dude, did you like, how wide were the tunnels? Like, obviously you could drive a golf cart down it, but was there more room than that? Like, could you drive a car down it?
No.
Okay.
It was pretty tight on the left-hand side. Like, I could stick my hand out like this and touch the wall, and that wall was clean though. It was like there was nothing really on this side.
Yeah.
All the cables and everything weren't on the ground either. They were attached to the wall in a bracket. And like I said, the cables that I was looking for were actually in a covered tray that were hidden under some other shit. So I was like, damn, dude, there's a lot of shit running through here, because there's main hub cables and stuff that connect all the different AT&T net pops. So it's crazy to get access to that shit though. And I was just like, dude, are these fucking tunnels like this everywhere under the city? They're like, everywhere. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, this is insane.
That's amazing. It's like Capone's tunnels and shit.
Yeah, like that's the type of shit it looks like.
They used to pull shit like that back in the day. Like that was different, but like even at Phoenix Country Club, there was this, the guy said, hey, I was golfing with the guy. He goes, I did construction on that building over there across the street. You want to hear something cool? He goes, yeah, out in front of that apartment building, there's like this way to get down into the basement, and they wanted me to tear something up. And so and it's solid concrete. And I'm like, what the hell is going on out here? So I was like, guys, this is concrete. Whatever. They're like, well, we got to get out of here. So he's like, you got to break through. So he breaks down in through there, and it was a tunnel that went from this little cabana house over there across the street underneath to the golf course. And it was, the story then was that it was Bob Hope's tunnel, because he used to own that, and he used to just drive right underneath, because Phoenix Country Club used to be the host of the Phoenix Open. Yeah. So when you go into the locker room, was over there, it's like all like Bob Hope and like old school, like Sam Snead, all these guys from like the 20s, from like 21 or something, like early 20s is when it started. So all the photos all the way up until
was that the joint that you took me to?
Yeah, did you go there with me? Did we play it?
Was that the place that when you picked me up from the airport, we went straight to the freaking golf course? Was that it?
What did we do there? Did we hit balls or shower? What did we do?
Went we did hit balls for a minute. We did go to some crazy ass locker room that was doper than dope.
That was probably it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that place that's the first thing that came to my mind was, dude, this looks like the fucking
Rat Pack stuff, and like Masters
like
type, old school,
super nice. Yeah, super nice. That's what I meant. Like, it was so nice.
It was nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Like, you don't know those little tidbits. All that old school stuff that, like, why did that even get put there? I mean, but Burnham, right? He's the guy that designed Chicago. I think, like, first type of Plan City shit. Who knows what? Like, that's smart type of stuff. Like
World's Fair. That's where they all cut their teeth. Was that World's Fair, son?
New York doesn't have that type of stuff. So
Well,
let's.
they
Go ahead.
they learned a lot of their shit from some of them New York guys because they called in some New York architects and some help for the World's Fair.
Well, I mean, yeah, but as far as like the city itself, right? Like they don't have alleys in New York.
Oh yeah, no,
like
because it
just
was
the way
made by
it's.
the Dutch, and then we stole it.
So, the Dutch don't believe in alleys. That's ridiculous.
Well, what's cool is I learned a ton of stuff about that when I was doing one of them walks on the treadmill, and it was just in New York City. There was like a 5-parter for New York City. You go through like Wall Street. You went to the, like the area where the Statue of Liberty is.
Mm-hmm.
You went through like Times Square. You walked around a bunch of these different areas, and the guy would tell you some shit about it and stuff. And he was talking about how the Dutch called it New. It wasn't New York. It was New Holland. And then when we took it over and George Washington wanted to make it like the capital, or did make it the capital or something, he changed it to or maybe that was somebody else before him changed it to York because of the King of England.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was some cool shit like that.
There's a really cool story about like that. I think it's New York, but now I think it's New York, not Chicago, but where like a bunch of like garbage piled up in like the river, right? Sure. Like in the water area, and it got so big, and like this thing got so big that like people started living on it, and then they like claimed it. Like it was a really big, like just like everything, just debris. Like let's just say debris started. So it was like an island, and then these guys like claim this island as like their sovereign land. I'll have to look it up and tell you about it. It's really fascinating, and I almost think it might have been Chicago. It was just a weird. Yeah, this whole thing is so they claim this land. They're trying to claim it as like the sovereign land, and like they can do whatever they want there, and it turns into like obviously like debauchery, but. It might not go that far because I don't know how it happened, but yeah, it's really. I remember learning this story.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so cool. And it might have been. I think it is New York, like in the early days. But
yeah, that sounds like something New York would try to pull off.
Yeah, somebody is going like, I own this thing.
This is my own country.
Like the guys.
See that flag right there.
Like the guys that purposely take the boat just over into international waters so that they could like do whatever they want or whatever. Like supposedly there's no laws there.
Dumping like, coke over the boat with your remote triggered inflatable sack so that your hookup can pick it up when they get there to the GPS coordinates that you just sent through your sat phone.
You're like, I'm only 18, but I chartered this boat and now I can drink.
You're
like, dude, just drink in your basement.
Are we in international waters yet? Because I want to crack a brew.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, just drink in your basement. Nobody cares.
My first flight in international style was the same way, but I didn't even realize it. Like the lady came around asking for drinks and shit.
Yeah.
And somebody next to me was like, 21. Yeah, I'll take a Heineken. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was 19, Me
too.
And I was just like, I'll take one too. And she didn't say, okay, fine, yeah. And I was just like, what the fuck? And,
like,
so she leaves. I'm like, hey, she knows we're not 21, right? And he's like, it's internet. We're in international air or something, or international territory, airspace right now. You can drink now, man. And I'm just like, what? Are you serious?
Isn't that great? Like all of a sudden there's no laws or something, right? Like,
yeah. Well, that dude.
She's only 14. We're in international.
She's 9.5. The dude next to me. The dude next to me, who is not 9.5, that told me about the international airspace thing, who ordered the Heineken, he put down like fucking 11 of them and was passed out cold, dude. And there was like 11 Heinekens crushed into his seat thing in front of him. And I was just like, what are you doing, dude? Just let her take the Heinekens,
Were you would you know this guy?
No, he was sitting next to us because the planes are gigantic when you go international. Huge, it's like 14 rows across or some shit. It's like you could play full fucking football in there.
Oh, my first flight ever was horrible. I went to England to visit a girlfriend at the time. And
nice.
We were like coming down, and I didn't talk to the guy next to me the entire time. And we were on the side, so it's like the row of like 8. Right, it's like the row of like 8 people. Then there's like whatever, and then there's like 3 or whatever on the side.
4, and 8.
Yeah,
it's literally like that fucking big.
Seriously. And so I'm sitting next to this guy, and I guess he was like French, so I don't even know if he spoke English or whatever. But we didn't even talk the whole time. And then we get to where we're going. We're about to land, and it just started going crazy. It's like, and then all of a sudden the lights flicker, and it goes wham, and it drops like, as far as I know, it's 100 feet, and people are like, boom. boom, up
Yeah,
out of their
free
seats into
floating.
the top of the thing. Like,
Yeah, dude.
wham, there's bags everywhere.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God. And me, and we're like, it's like shaking, shaking, shaking. He's like, I think we're going to land it, folks. And we're like, oh my God, I don't know if we should. And me and the guy look at each other for the first time and we're like, I don't know. We just like look at each other. We're like, we're good. And all these kids in the middle, it's like from this like high school like rugby team or whatever. They're like, yeah. They're like cheering, and I'm like, no, don't do it. And then it does it again. It goes, the lights turn off, and the thing goes wham, and it drops again. People just flying all over the place. And I was just
Please put your seatbelts on.
Yeah. And then we landed, and everybody's like, fuck yeah. That was, I think when we landed, we look at the guy, and we're just like, yeah, we're so pumped. And the guy's like, yeah. Then we landed, and the guy's like, yeah, they weren't sure if they wanted us to land, but we just came through a tornado, but everything's cool now. So we get down, no taxis, nothing. The whole thing's like shut down. It's flooded. You couldn't get out of there. Like, you got out, but there's like, you couldn't, like, I don't know, people were just locked.
That's
and the
crazy.
like channel, or not the channel, but like the trains were flooded. It was just nuts, dude. That was my first international flight, and I was already kind of scared, man. I was just like, oh.
That's a long ass flight, too. Dude.
And I didn't sleep a wink on that thing.
Oh, I passed out.
So when I got there, I was so crashed. I'm like,
I saw
gotta
the
go
sun
to bed.
go down and come up.
Oh, that was so scary. Now when the plane's just like jiggy, 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 like I don't even care. I'm like, dude,
I've hit air pockets as well where shit was free floating, like you're saying. You get that zero gravity effect.
Yeah, it was fucked up. Like, I'm surprised somebody didn't bust their neck. I mean,
they did check everybody, hardcore after the air pocket that we hit, and people had spilled shit all over them, and like, it was fucking crazy, like. Dude.
That's when you have to like, then the last
fucking omelet.
Like the last 3 hours of the flight, it just reeks like tequila because somebody dropped their tequila.
Somebody dropped their drink all over the floor.
I did that one time. I spilled a tequila. Hey, you want to see Jenny? What are you eating? Jenny's eating she has a whole package of cookie dough over here.
Oh no, they make edible cookie dough now, so you don't have to worry about the craziness. Hey.
I don't think you have to worry about it ever.
Oh, whoa, you're not kidding. She's going to town.
No, she has a whole pack. Like, hey, give me some.
Well, so that's why she's dancing over there. It's like pure sugar, man.
I thought you were sleeping. Now she's gonna be up all night. I have my alarm set for 4 a.m.
Why?
Because I'm trying to flip the script. I want to be to work by 7 because I want to be able to pick up Payne at
Tell
4.
Tell her thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Bye. Oh, we're gonna finish here not too much longer, and I'll be up.
Yeah. I gotta hit the treadmill to get my rings.
Love you.
Love you too. Oh, she talking to you?
She was talking to you. But,
okay. Well, that's what I thought.
So,
yeah, go for it. What were we talking about now? I lost my train of thought. Mm-hmm. We were talking about aliens, or was that in the beginning?
Probably.
Oh, it's all good. You could chew on the mic, dude. Don't.
Well, I want to
ASMR now or something. That's
it really is.
Yeah,
I learned about that 2 years ago. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I got into it.
I don't know about or something.
I got into it because it could put you to sleep. But then there's some fun. It can really put you to sleep if you get good ones. And then the ones where they're like, when they do the thing and they start scratching on it, I got it. Have you ever really got into it?
No.
Okay. So there's ones that they'll give you
this pickle one because I didn't know what it was, and someone's like, "Watch this." I'm like, "This is what the fuck it is."
Now they have like microphones that are shaped like ears, and they like lick the ears and shit. But so do the one that does the tingling, and it'll say like the top 10 things to make you feel the tingles. You're gonna love this. And make sure you'll have to find somebody who has a ton of hits. Yeah. And maybe I'll send you one, and then they'll do a bunch of different things. They'll do the scratching. They'll do like a brush. They'll do all these different things, and you'll get one where there's one where it's literally when they have like a muff on here, and it just like gets it all the way up. It's really crazy.
Yeah, no. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's kind of cool. I haven't done that in a while though, but yeah, sometimes you just like whisper, and they can get you right to sleep. It's pretty crazy.
Well, I don't doubt it because there's some crazy shit that people can do, to the human mind. Like, you know, that's super simple, but like with the hypnosis stuff, or like when you hear about, some kind of conspiracy theory where there's like a Manchurian candidate and you just have to say some trigger
Oh yeah.
word and they'll fucking take anybody out. Like that shit's real, dude. I mean, like it's as real as it gets.
If you hear whispers, you're dying.
You'd be surprised. Like, did you know that back in the day, I don't remember exactly when this is, but they had to actually ban or outlaw subliminal advertising because it used to be legal. You used to be able to use it.
So I mean, it really works.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, like Burger King and like those type of fast food places and stuff, they would use subliminal advertising. And then all of a sudden you'd be watching, you know, some Bears game and you'd be like, man, I really need a fucking Whopper, you know? And you go out and get a fucking Whopper.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
let's look into that. Let's look into that, man.
Subliminal advertising.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about it, but I didn't know it like was to the point where they actually had to ban it because it worked like that.
Oh, it works, dude. It works big time.
That's where they put like one frame, like you can't even recognize that you even saw it.
Super fast. Yep.
We should do that with our show.
Yes. Subscribe. Click
so
like.
I know you got. I'm probably not going to get my stuff done tonight. Because I'm going to get up and do I'm going to do my push-ups. I'm doing my push-ups.
Okay, yeah. You have to.
Did you see the replies?
I got 60. No, I saw one. I saw one reply.
Somebody said they did 71.
What?
I don't know their numbers. If I tell you their number, you might know them.
Who is it?
I'll tell you the number.
Don't tell me the number. I'll look.
No? Okay.
We don't want to give away phone numbers and have somebody get
you put up 60. And then somebody.
And I could have probably done 61.
Oh,
but
so
I was like,
max.
I was okay. Well.
Oh no! Somebody said 47. I'm sorry. Somebody said 47, and then you said 60.
I could have done maybe 61, but if I would have went down, I might not have gotten back up. So 60 is definitely my max.
I think I'm probably going to be. I'm going to do it right when we're done. I'm probably going to be around 54. I did 52 the other day, and I probably could have squeezed out 2 more, but I was at the.
See?
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have gotten back up after 52.
That's kind of what I'm feeling right there.
So
60.
My son though, we've been taking him, in at 7:30, and today I picked him up at 5:30. He's like, Dad, can you get me any sooner? He's like the last kid there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start going into work. Instead of going in at 8, I'll go in at 7, and because I can leave at 4, so I can probably get him by 4:15. So I'm gonna start going in at 7, which means there is boot camp right across the street at 5. So I'm gonna get up at 4, go to boot camp at 5, be to work by 7, definitely. And then I'll be able to get him an hour early, and he's going to be so much happier. Yeah,
make it happen.
I don't want him to be there that long. But let's talk about your golf swing, or unless you got
Yeah, let's do it real fast. No,
okay,
let's do that real fast. Then we can both do what we needs to do. You want me to share my screen? Did you say?
If you have the swing up, let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, I really love it. First of all, you look so skinny. I was like, dude, look how that was the first thing I thought. I was like, look how fucking skinny this guy is, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Go to the first one. That is the iron one. I think you hit the iron first, don't you?
I don't know if that one.
Is that a 7 iron?
Hang on.
Actually, the better.
See, yeah, I don't know what happened to that one.
Okay, no worries.
This one?
I'll tell you about it. Look at your mouth. Dude, send that to me. Jenny's gonna love that. I'm gonna show it to her now.
Okay, this is the only one that downloaded for some reason. Let's just do the driver. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Now, you want me to do you want me to scrub?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. It's not working. Scrub style. I don't know why. See, it was downloading from my phone. See, it's still kind of stuck. I don't know why it's still kind of stuck.
That's all right. Actually, there's not much to show. It's really good, except I love how as soon as you're done hitting, you're like,
look around.
You hit the ball, and then you're like, you look over at the thing. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I was just like, dude, I just gotta. Sometimes I'll try to just pretend like I'm watching it fly away, but in reality, for me to watch it fly away, I have to do this real fast.
Oh yeah, to see there we go. Okay, so I'll look at your iron one really, truthfully, and I'll show you. But
yeah, because I don't know why it's not loading, dude.
It's okay.
It takes forever for the stuff that you take on your phone now to get to your computer, and I didn't airdrop it. It just usually syncs with the iPhoto.
I probably won't be able to show you, but so your takeaway is super, super, super awesome. And there's one spot I want to show you with how good it is, man. Your swing is really good. and it's like
Thanks.
right on your way back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
Any help, I'll take
right
it.
as your hands get parallel, it's so good. Like I mean, I can be able to see, but so on your iron, let's
Just
see.
tilt this. There you go.
Yeah, but we can't get that play thing out of there though.
There you go.
Yeah, you're
It's
not gonna be
okay.
able to get
I
out of
can
there.
see my hands.
So yeah, so right when you come back, your hands are like right in line with the shaft, which are like right in line with your hands, and like the club head. When you're looking from the back, of the club head is like hidden by your hands when it's parallel is awesome. So you're like you're right
Gotcha.
there.
Okay.
The only thing it looks like your setup your setup is fine, but it looks like your club head is closed.
It is, dude. I figured that out. You're
Mm-hmm.
100% right. I don't know how you noticed that from that angle, but it was. And
Yeah.
I was overdrawing, and I was just like, what the hell's going on here? So I just reset up, and I laid the club down against my chest, or like against my my front.
Belt or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just let it go to rest. Then I just
Nice.
put my hands on it
Nice.
and
Yes.
swung and crushed it
Yes.
right down the middle. And I was just like,
Oh,
oh,
that's
dude.
so great.
I'm like, I was closing the club face.
Yep.
And I immediately knew.
Like that's awesome. And then the only other thing is what they'll do is I want you to look at like, so when you do your downs, okay, so you're going to go
Yeah.
back, and then on your downswing,
Yep.
what they say should happen is the shaft should be bisecting this arm. So like when you come down, the shaft should be like right through the middle of your arm. So pull up your
Okay.
other swing, because your driver swing actually is better. It doesn't I couldn't tell if it was closed. It didn't look closed, but pull up your driver swing, and then on your way down with the driver swing, it's really like bisecting like your bicep, which means it's flatter, which means your swing is flatter. The other one probably went to the, well, you said it was drawing, but I was going to say it might have went to the right because it was a little steep.
Let me check my phone. It'll be a lot better on my phone. Hang on.
But oh yeah, because you can't scrub on the other thing.
Well, I can. It's just being weird. I don't know why.
No worries. Dude, your fucking swing's really good. And like, I don't know if you're trying to keep your head down, like purposely,
Oh,
like
I
after
am.
you hit the ball, because you don't have
yeah.
to so much. That actually might make you flip your hands. Because a
Low,
lot of us, if we
yeah.
try to keep our head down unnaturally, then we flip our hands because we're not releasing. So it's like, to just let your
I
head,
agree.
after you contact, just let your head come up. I mean, your head can come up after you hit the ball. Don't
A
like,
little bit more smooth.
yeah.
All right,
But
here, I'm
man, you're
scrubbing
really
now.
smooth. And like, I don't know.
Oh, I see what
Wait.
you're saying about the club bisecting.
Yeah, so like on the way down, it should be bisecting this
Under your
part.
shoulder. Yep.
This part, yeah, it should be splitting. It should be splitting that arm. So like as it comes down, it should be like this. Like, I'm wearing my
Stand up,
underwear.
yeah.
Let me see. So like when you come down with the club, it would be like that, right?
Yep, I can totally see exactly
That's
what you're
called
saying.
flatter. Otherwise, if it starts getting, your iron is a bit up here, which means it's steep.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'm trying to probably over pinch the ball a little bit, and that sometimes I'll chunk.
Oh, that could be. Sometimes a steep will lead to really going to the right. The ball
Okay.
would push out to the right. But I loved your numbers, man. And then it's so good. Like your numbers are awesome to the point where even your deviation was like a 3-yard, 2-yard
Yeah.
push,
Draw, maybe?
or a 2-yard draw and a 3-yard draw or whatever, which is awesome. Dude, yours
Yeah.
looks so good, man. You're gonna score. I mean, you're already scoring, but I mean, like that's very repeatable. So
Well, with
good.
intent. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is make a swing that's repeatable, that won't kill me, that I won't lose a ton of yardage on. I pretty much have dialed in all my yardages except for my driver, but I don't know if it's just the machine or what, because it shows me hitting a lot shorter than I think I am based on my swing speed and my ball speed and everything, my smash factor, all that shit. It's like I think I should probably be hitting them, but maybe 10, 15 yards further, but maybe it's just because I'm old man body now.
No, but sometimes with those, I wouldn't think so. Your swing speed looked a little low, but sometimes with those, unless your like ball is set up in the right spot, it doesn't read it
Exactly.
perfectly.
You're
And those things get a lot
100%
of
right.
use probably too.
Oh
but
God, yeah.
yeah, I mean thousands and thousands. But I was pumped because I started immediately like checking. I was like, dude, that's good. His club face looks closed. And it's all just going to come down to, because you know how to hit the ball and you're an athlete, it's just going to always come down to if you're set up right, if you're
Yeah.
square and you're set in my alignment. Because alignment for me is like one of the hardest things. Like, am I lined up right? Every time I think I'm square, I'm way right. And I really have to work on, actually, I have to aim where I think is left of the thing, and that makes me square. It just takes, and then you'll see these guys. They'll be like, you know what? Whenever I stop playing well, like the pros, they're like, I just have to go back to the thing. I work on my lineup and my setup, my alignment and my setup. because they know they're going to hit the ball straight. So I
They
don't
just
know,
had
man.
to
It's
aim
really
right.
good. You just have to aim right.
I was watching a video last night. It's funny that you said this. So I was watching a video about putting where the guy was saying the same thing. He goes, "Look, he goes, I'm going to show you a couple moves that I learned from fucking Ben Hogan or somebody I don't remember.
Yeah.
Somebody huge." And he took a tee, he broke it in half, took the head off pretty much, took the sharp end that you put in the ground with no head all the way down so that it wouldn't affect the green at all, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, here's the old school Arnold Palmer move or somebody's move where, you use this as a point of aim that's closer to the ball, so you don't have to keep looking at the hole. You can just hit over this point, and if you hit over this point, you're on the right path. You're on the right alignment. Easy shit like that. He's like, but now here's the thing. He goes, everybody said, take the ball, hold it to your forehead, drop it down. That's where your head should be. That's where you should look. That's how you align your putts. He's like, that's wrong. He goes, I'm going to show you something. He goes, so if you look with your ball lined up, like if you get behind the ball, you take the little line and you line it up with the tee, and it's in line with the hole, and it's a straight putt, no break, and it's a straight putt with no break, and you're trying to practice this, and you got everything lined up. Then you get over the ball. It actually looks like you're aiming to the left.
Yeah, totally.
And you're like, what the fuck? But then he's like, go ahead, try it. So the guy put a GoPro on his head and everything. He's like, yeah, it looks like we're aiming way to the left. And the guy's like, it's because your head is in the wrong position. He's like, are you sure you're lined up perfect? Like that ball would go in if you hit it straight. And he's like, I'm 100% positive. And he goes, that's crazy, right? He goes, so here's how you fix that. He goes, you get into your putting stance with 1 foot. He's like, that's why you see all these pros do this. He goes, they get into their stance with 1 foot, and then they kind of lean their head back and look down the line of the putt.
Yeah.
And you'll see them adjust their head back and forth until they can see that line with their point and the hole all matching up, and they're visually seeing it. Once they see that, then they just put their head down so their head doesn't move forward or backwards. It's exactly where it needs to be. Then they bring their other foot in. Then they check it again to make sure that their head is in the same spot it was. And if it's not, you'll see them just adjusting their head just a little bit, looking down that line.
It's crazy.
And then they'll square up and hit it right away, because they know if they just hit that little point in front of them and that line on the ball goes end over end, they hit it straight, and it'll probably go in if they read the green right. He's like, the only time that they have problems, and you'll see them like kind of like look at it like, what the fuck, is when the black line starts to wobble, because then they didn't hit the putt straight.
Hit it square,
even if they make the putt, they'll still be like, what the fuck? Like they'll still look at it like kind of like crazy, like, huh?
It's so strange.
But he's like, that's the thing. He goes, you could stand over any shot and have that problem and be missing all day to the right or all day to the left, because you're just not seeing the alignment properly when you stand over the ball.
Yeah, dude, that's really good. The thing I will add on top of that is, so when I used to be like, well, I wasn't really trying or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I would kind of give myself an out, the nonchalant stuff. But then I really got in, and I was like, okay, I'm going to set, I'm going to go, I'll get my thing.
Serious.
I'm going to look at the line over the thing. I'm going to aim for the point. I've tried that. Doesn't really work for me. Yeah. Like if I try to aim at that, just aim a couple in front of the ball because you'll hit through it. And I've tried all that. What worked for me was getting the routine, but also staying with who I am and getting into the feel. So seeing it. And now I've come back to, now that I have solid fundamentals, is walking up, because I know my setup, and I walk up to the ball and I see where I want to hit it. And then I get up and I line and I hit it. Yes. I don't try to do the line anymore for me, because then if I see the line and it's not lined up, then I got to go back and I got to line up. There's I get out of my feel, right? So then it's like, I get it. I see where I want to be. And then I go and I get into my setup, in which I know now I'm square because I know how to set up, and then I go. And that has I kind of bring it back to bowling. Bowling, I always knew that I stood on the second line from the middle. Yep. And then I knew that my ball would, if I tried to go out by the second, my ball would just go. If I stood there, it was going to go poof. Right, it never went out and in. It just went. It just curved in.
Pocket. Yep.
So I was really cocky when I would bowl, because I was like, "Hey, my feet are here. Zoom, go."
You hit those spots and you're good.
And I try to get out by those spots and we're good. So now that's how I go with golf. I got it. I know my setup. I just go. I take a look, and then I can feel it, and I go. And I will maybe play a little bit better. I probably won't play any worse. But the thing is, you could easily miss trying being very technical, just as you could easily miss playing it how you want.
Yeah.
So like maybe not nonchalant is what I would call
Oh
it
yeah,
anymore.
no,
But
with feel. I got you.
yeah, like you could easily miss doing it. So like why not do it the way you trust? Instead
Well,
of like I had to go through the overly technical way to learn some of that shit.
that's what I think is the problem. Is a lot of people don't put the time into, like you said, you nailed it from the jump. A lot of people don't put the time in to get the fundamental part down.
Yeah, that took a while.
Once you get the fundamental part down, then yeah, you can start creating inside of that fundamental base and find some sort of like, little stinger shots or something like that.
Yeah.
If you got a trouble or,
Yeah.
some crazy ass, like around the green shot, like Phil had the fucking backward shot and shit. That's not fundamentals,
totally
stuff.
right.
You know what I mean? But like, but everybody always skips the fundamentals part. They don't put the 1,000 ball in at the range days in and shit like that. Not that necessarily you have to, but just I'd rather have you do 100 4 days a week than 1,000 once a month. You know what I mean?
That's really true.
Right,
There's definitely, what's his name? Ben Hogan always said, like it's in the dirt. You got to dig it out of the dirt. Like there's stories about him hitting till his hands bled, which, we've done that because you get the blisters, right? And all that stuff.
They don't call me double gloves for nothing.
Two gloves. Tommy two gloves. Tony two gloves.
That's right.
Dude, I'm excited to see where you go. No, the swing's fucking great. Obviously we knew that already, but I just wanted to see where it was at.
Dial it back in.
I'd love to see the one, like from this angle where I could from the side, because I want to see if you're moving in or like what's happening with that left knee, because I just don't know, but it looks.
I definitely want multiple views as well, and I want feedback from somebody obviously like yourself that knows what the fuck they're talking about,
what to look for.
Right, exactly, and that's like gold. I mean, like
one more thing. Sorry,
fucking coaching.
I just wonder if you're not casting. Like I wonder if you're releasing the club early so that when you're getting to the ball, like your wrist is like flat as opposed to like being still like coming through. Like I want your hands should be a little bit ahead of the ball instead of like, because it almost looks like they call it casting where it's like you're kind of like almost neutral when you get to the ball instead of being like in front of the ball. I wonder if you're just here, because they call it casting. Some people cast where it's like releasing the club early.
Yep.
Because if your hands are a little bit ahead, man, you'll notice that ball just fucking rockets off. You're just like, damn, I didn't even.
Yeah, I never really thought about like hand position at impact.
Just barely ahead of the ball, just like whoosh, boom, and it just comes through, man.
Well, yeah, that whip factor is kind of one of those things that I was looking at when I was watching some of the golf on TV and stuff, and I was like, there's got to be something I'm missing with whip factor or something with the club doing more of the work, because like I swing. You see, you're
like a grown man, like you're a big guy, like you.
I swing, with my whole body, like I swing with like my arms and my, I try to torque, I change my weight on my feet, I do all that stuff, but I always thought that I was missing something with the whip factor, or like you said, like maybe with your hands just trailing enough to where it like, can snap the ball out instead of, like you said, almost like guide it and push it or cast it. Yeah.
It's weird. Like don't cast it. Like keep just
snap it versus
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So like if for me, if I just think like I want my hands like a couple inches ahead of the ball before I hit it, just coming through, as long as my hands are ahead, it de-lofts the club, right? So instead of it being whatever 20 degrees, now it's like 18 degrees, and that's probably why. And then it just like
a little too much loft on my stats. I didn't like that. That'll help. So I was looking for ways to decrease that, and I was knocking my tee down. I was checking impact on my face. I'm gonna actually get some impact tape just to check out some stuff, because it felt like I was hitting a little bit too much.
I like the impact tape. They're also foot spray. Just spray foot powder spray on your club, and it'll just be white, and then when you hit the ball you'll see exactly where. That's what we used to do on the range. That way you don't have to do the tape. And then man, just hands in front of the ball, and you'll notice it's gonna come fucking rocketing out.
I like that.
And then the only other thing for that part is like if it's going too high, then just move it back like a half inch. Move it back.
In my stance?
Yeah, because if it's in front of your stance, if it's up in front, then you're catching it on the up, and then it's going higher.
I did move back a tad this time just to see how like the look was or the feel was. So that might have been the reason. So normally I am a little bit further up. So that might have been the reason.
It might be why it's higher.
Yeah,
because when I want to hit a high one, I move it into the front, and then but
you can get it up. All right.
We need to talk stocks next time for
Yeah, for sure. Well,
sure.
I'm telling you, there's going to be some craziness. Like right now, just to end the episode here,
Yeah.
in a good segue into the next episode, crypto is kind of volatile right now. So like
Yeah.
Bitcoin and
Yeah.
some of the Ethereum stuff is starting to
I want to
dip.
buy right now. Yeah.
Yes, you're right, and correct. But that's okay because when like I always try to explain everything like this to people with stocks or any type of financial investments. It's like a pendulum, right? When you push it this way and it goes way high, it'll probably almost go exactly the same back, but not as far because it lost some of that momentum. And it always wants to correct to this. So
Okay.
then it'll swing back to the high part again, but not as far. Just like the power dive at Great America,
Yeah.
and then eventually it'll stop in that middle, and then
But then
something will
what?
vault it in another way.
Oh, I get you.
It could be
Okay.
this way though. Something could vault it negative again, but
Something
then
will
it will swing back this way. Now
almost as
Bitcoin,
high as it did the other time
right,
or
but
whatever.
then it'll start to. But then while it's here, something might vault it back this way again, or something might
Some
vault it
news or
further up.
something
Yeah.
or yeah.
So the pendulum keeps getting knocked, but it always
That's
wants
so
to come
cool.
back to that equilibrium point. So that's what it's doing right now. So I don't think anyone needs to panic. It's just a natural, let's find that line and we can ride that line, and then something will bounce it back out and it wants to ride the line. If you look at charting on any stock, it's
Mhm.
almost crazy because you can take these moving day averages, and this is how I pick my winners and know when to buy and sell. I take the 5-day and the 15-day moving averages, the simple moving averages, right? And I put them both on every single chart that I have. It's like an auto, ad. And when that 5-day crosses that 15-day, let's say they're here like this, right? And this is the 5-day, this is the 15. If it crosses it down, that's time to sell. When it comes back and crosses it up, that's time to buy. So that's pretty much when those two simple day moving averages cross each other. Those are my two buy and sell points. I don't always sell if the asset, is something I'm hanging on to for like dividend collection, or if it's something that
Just a
I'm just
long
hanging on
play or
to like Apple
something.
or something like that, because Apple will have, events like that I just ignore. But other plays where I'm trying to, keep track of some stuff, or I'm making some moves, more day trading or monthly trading shit, I'll watch those moving averages. But what's crazy is if you zoom out enough, right? There's going to be another moving average that's like a 200-day that's on every chart automatically, and I never take it off because I like that one too. But it's like a long-term moving average, 200 days versus the 5 and 15, which are short periods. And you'll see this 200 will move kind of retroactively to the price of the stock. It kind of follows it. It doesn't give you any indication of where it's going to go. It just kind of follows it. But you'll see like the price of the stock and this moving average kind of play this game where it almost like orbits this moving average. It'll go a little bit down, but like I said, then it'll go equally as far over, and then it'll go back down a little bit. And then it always wants to find, the price is always looking for that like 200-day
What
moving
the
average.
fuck? That's so
Weird.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, but when you keep the 200 moving day average in there, why though? Because just
It's long term.
it's like a longer term, like
Yeah.
just gauge or whatever.
Yeah. It has pretty much more data
Yeah.
to give you like an indication of what the price has been doing instead of what
No,
it will do.
that's true. Because when I'm looking at stocks, I'll be like, okay, oh look, it's up. Oh look, blah blah blah. Okay, well, what's it been like the last 3 months? And then I'll be like, well, wait, what's the like last 5 years been? I click out and
So
then I
so
see,
imagine having
oh okay,
averages, that are
oh okay,
charted right there in front of you for those time frames. And you can pick whatever time frame you want,
yeah,
but those
oh
are the
yeah.
ones that everyone uses.
That helps me like say like I don't know like yeah, I like the trend here. Okay, whatever. I'll see. So I
Yeah.
see. Okay. I like this
And then you
5 day,
watch these
15 day thing. I can't wait to look at
watch
that.
those crosses, simple day moving averages, or simple they're called SMA crossovers. They're
Okay.
like main events. Like, you'll see it in like if you go to like Yahoo, or you'll go to like, one of those places where you can trade, or one of the apps where you can trade or track stocks,
Yeah.
you can go into like a certain section that'll just show you every stock that had a simple day moving average crossover,
So I got like
to
a
the negative
Ameritrade
or
app
to the positive. They
that should
filter
do
all
it.
that shit. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look up SMA, moving average, crossover alerts. You can get
Oh, so
alerts,
pumped.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of people trade. Once they see those alerts, they just move on the alerts, because the long-term indication along with the short-term indication should give you a pretty good idea of what you need to do with that asset at that time, and if you see everything start to dive, it's time to bail. That's why I sold Intel. No one would sell Intel, but I sold it, and it dropped another $40, after I sold it because of the moving averages.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, right. Gosh, I can't wait to look at that. Now I'm going to be up fucking doing that at work all day tomorrow, and I'm supposed to be doing something else.
Joel, did you get to that email I sent over? 200 days. What?
Yeah. Seriously, like somebody comes around the corner, I'm like turning everything off. I got my phone. I'm like, just quit looking at the thing, and I'm like, geez, I need a coffee. Yeah. No, I need a coffee. Like,
yeah. Gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. Let's get out of here.
Oh, but like today, I had these things like change forms to do or whatever, and I was like, I don't know why I was been pushing them up. Somebody made the request on like January 8th, dude. But I knew that it didn't have to go in, right? So I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I was like, I need a coffee first. Let's go to the cafeteria.
Yeah, you know what? I could do this tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll do this tomorrow.
That's exactly right. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll be in a good mood. Yeah,
I'm gonna check my emails and then I'm gonna do this.
But I'll get a coffee.
It's already lunch. Fuck it, let's go to lunch. Next thing you know, it's January 21st. You're like, man, I really got to do this. It's like 2 weeks ago.
Do it tonight.
Fuck
yeah,
I'll do this. Yeah.
Damn it, I gotta take my computer home.
So now I know. Now I know how to do this. I'll do the rest tomorrow morning.
Exactly. Now I know how long they take. I can definitely do it tomorrow.
I'll knock it out. I got like tons of time from 8 to noon. Then something comes up. Joel, we need you in this meeting. No problem. I'll do this thing a little bit later. All right, it's already lunch.
So
man, I got to get out of here early today. I got a doctor's appointment.
Yeah. Damn it, I forgot.
Next Tuesday.
Like, sorry, babe, I was late. I had this stupid thing to do. Like, I knew about for 3 weeks.
Yeah. They sprang it on me, though. They sprang it on me.
I'll end it on the quote of, you'll never have any more time than you have right now. And so that's that gets me out of procrastinating a lot. I'm like, dude, I'll never have more time than this. If I have the time now, I don't know if I'll have the time later. But you always think you're going to have time later.
Well, you know what?
All of a sudden, they're like, hey, we're going skiing Friday. You're like, fuck, I got to do those reports.
Yeah, I got to do those TPS reports.
Telling you.
You know what we won't have time for later, though, because it ends at midnight, is the rings. I'm going to hit this treadmill. I'll send you more swing videos. Yeah, go to bed. I'll send you more swing videos. We'll talk some more golf. We'll talk some more stocks. We'll talk some more crypto.
Let's do it.
Next time, ladies.
100X. I'm doing my push-ups now.